Welcome to today's presentation. We're exploring the world of toxic people in the workplace, based on the book Shokuba Kusaraseru Hitotachi by psychiatrist Tamami Katada. These are individuals who quietly erode morale, trust, and productivity, often without obvious misconduct. Tamami Katada, who has treated over 7,000 patients, argues that most workplace distress stems from interpersonal conflict, not workload. Toxic coworkers or bosses are often the root cause of chronic stress and low job satisfaction. One major type is the spirit over strategy boss, who insists that passion and persistence solve everything. They use their past success as a universal template, ignoring changing contexts and current challenges. Psychologically, this behavior is linked to fantasy-driven wish fulfillment, a refusal to accept today's reality. Such people often confuse desire with capability and push teams toward unrealistic goals under the illusion of motivation. Another toxic archetype is the displacer, someone who gets scolded by their superior and vents their frustration on weaker colleagues. This downward cycle of aggression creates a chain reaction of stress and resentment across the team. In psychiatry, this defense mechanism is called displacement. The person avoids confronting the real source of their anger and instead takes it out on someone who cannot fight back, reinforcing a toxic hierarchy. Yet another type is the status prover, who constantly highlights their credentials or past glory while subtly belittling others. This often stems from unfulfilled recognition needs and deep-seated insecurity. These individuals may outwardly appear confident, but their need to put others down is a shield against their own perceived failure. Their superiority complex is often a cover for wounded pride and lack of professional progress. So why can't we just change them? Katada lists 4 main reasons: self-protection, loss aversion, emotional decision-making, and denial of responsibility. These make rational dialogue or persuasion mostly ineffective. For instance, someone acting out of fear of losing their role or income will rationalize their toxicity. They see their behavior as necessary, even if it breaks rules or hurts others. To them, survival justifies anything. Others may act out of jealousy, envy, or pure malice. Aristotle defined malice as harming others not to gain something, but to ensure others don't succeed. These people sabotage peers simply because they can't stand others doing well. The fourth and most dangerous type believes they are exceptions. Freud called them the exception. They think their painful past grants them immunity from rules, obligations, or common courtesy at work. Trying to rehabilitate such individuals is a losing battle. Instead, the focus should be on minimizing harm. The first step, noticing the signs early. A heavy mood, unspoken tension, and widespread exhaustion are all warnings. Once you've identified a toxic presence, analyze their motivation. Are they acting from fear, desire to dominate, or something deeper, like a mental health issue? Katada mentions OCD and bipolar symptoms in some cases. Toxic people often target those who are less likely to resist, people who are passive, conflict avoidant, overly empathetic, or isolated. Spotting these traits in yourself is key to strengthening your defense. Katada lists 8 high-risk traits: taking others too seriously, lack of experience, ignoring gut feelings, pleasing others, low confidence, reliance on others, avoiding conflict, and social isolation. The more that apply, the greater the risk. So how can you protect yourself without changing your core personality? One method is what Katada calls light negotiation, a soft form of boundary setting that still feels safe and polite. For example, if asked to take on extra work, instead of outright refusal, say, "Could I do this tomorrow?" or "I can do this part if someone else handles the other." These responses subtly assert control without direct confrontation. Over time, this builds your image as someone who doesn't simply obey without question. Toxic people tend to avoid targets who are unpredictable, even slightly inconvenient to manipulate. In conclusion, don't try to fix toxic people. Focus on spotting, understanding, and strategically dodging their traps. Becoming a little harder to push around could make all the difference in preserving your mental health at work.